function. Do the following represent functions or not? Explain why or why not to receive full credit for each problem. Okay, A is a table. We have the points 1, 7, 2, 8, 3, 9, and 1, 10. I'm going to say we have a little difficulty because we have 1, 7, and we have 1, 10. And 1 is not allowed to have two outputs. So I'm going to say on this one, no, this is not a function. And it did say to explain why, so I'm going to say 1 has two outputs. I could also say every input is only allowed to have one output, so that would be fine as well. Okay, when we're looking at part B, since it's a graph, we're going to do the vertical line test. So if I draw some vertical lines, see those are not very vertical, sorry about that. All right, and I test how many times do they pass through? This passes through once, 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 once. So this passes the vertical line test, so this will be a yes, and then I will say passes the vertical line test. Please notice what I'm not going to put is it passes the VLT, because we need to describe what does VLT stands for. It stands for the vertical line test. All right, C, a teacher makes a table that lists the name of the student X and their birthday Y. Use a table, graph, or equation to help explain your answer. So again, we're going to explain our answer. We'll still say yes or no. So we're going to have an X and Y. I think I'm going to draw a table because I think that will be easiest. Okay, it says the name of the student is X. So I'm going to start putting some names. And it doesn't specify whether it's first or last name, so I'm just going to go with first names, I guess. I'm going to start with Trish. And her birthday, it says Y is the birthday, so her birthday is June 2nd. And then I'm going to say Billy. His birthday is April 15. And then I'm going to say Judy, her birthday is December 6th, and then I'm going to think, I've got another Billy in my class, and his birthday is May 2nd. So notice it is possible for a student to have the same first name or the same name, but have different birthdays. So this is going to be no, and I'm going to say a student, I'll say two students may have the same name but different birthdays. All right, and even if we went with last names, I know that if I put Julie Jones up here, I've had several Julie Joneses in my class. So again, we'd have the same name, but they have a different birthday. Right, number 2, it says A, complete the table and graph. So we are going to go ahead and do that. The biggest thing on here, we have bars. So bars make our answers positive. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take -1/2. We're going to put it in there. So we're going to put 2 times -1/2 minus 3. I'm just putting it in for the X. When I calculate that out, 2 times -1/2 is -1. -1 minus 3 is -4. And the absolute value of -4 is 4 because my answer turns into positive. The next one I'm going to do 2 times 0 minus 3. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 is -3, and once again that answer becomes positive. The next one is going to be 2 times 1/2 minus 3. 2 times 1/2 is 1. 1 minus 3 is -2, and once again the -2 turns into 2. If I plug 1 in, 2 times 1 minus 3, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3 is -1, the -1 turns into a positive 1. 3 halves, 2 times 3 halves is 3, minus 3 is 0, so 0 just stays 0. Next one, 2 times 2 minus 3, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 3 is 1, so the 1 stays 1. And then 5 halves, so 2 times 5 halves minus 3, 2 times 5 halves is 5, minus 3 is 2, and then that just stays a 2. All right, so then it says to graph it, so I'm going to put a plus sign in the middle of my graph. Hopefully yours is better than that. This is hard to draw with this. Okay, and then this first point is -1/2 4, so I'm going to go to the left 1/2 and then up 4. The next one says 0, 3, so I'm going to stay put and go up 3. The next one is over 1/2 and up 2. The next one is over 1 and up 1. The next one is 3 halves 0, and that would be 3 halves 0 would be over 1 1/2, and then stay put because 3 halves is 1 1/2. And then the next one is 2 1, so over 2 up 1. And then 5 halves is 2 1/2, so over 2 1/2 and then up 2. and then I can see that this graph is making a V, so you can go ahead and make a V as well. So I completed the table and I've graphed it, and then it says B, use your table and graph to explain why the equation above is a function. Well, if I look at the table, I can see that every input has exactly one output. So that's what I would put for my explanation for that one. Every input has exactly one output. And then it said to use my graph. So if I'm looking at my graph passes the vertical line test. And again, I will actually write out vertical line test. All right. Number 3. Let f of x equal x squared minus 4. Evaluate f of 5. Well, we learned wherever I see an x, I'm going to put a 5. So 5, 5. And we learned that if the left side confuses you, just scribble it off. And so now we're ready to evaluate. So we're going to do 5 squared, which just means 5 times itself. So 5 times 5 is 25. Minus 4 is 21. 4. In the following graphs, identify the domain and the range. In the first one, we are giving 4 points. What I'd suggest for this one is before we find the domain and range, let's make an XY table. Okay, this first point goes to the left 1 and up 3, so we're going to label it -1, 3. My next point goes to the right 1 and up 3, so it's going to be 1, 3. My next one goes to the right 3 and up 3, so its point will be 3, 3. And then the last point goes over 5 and up 3, so it will be 5, 3. Okay, the domain is a listing of the x values, so it will be -1, 1, 3, and 5. And the range is a list of the y values, and the only y value there is 3. So that's what it would look like. Please notice I did not make this like a something number to another number because there are points, specific points. It's not connected. Okay, part B is a connected graph. So when we're looking at the domain, we will looking at how far does this graph go to the left, and then how far does it go to the right. Okay, so if I'm looking how far does it start to the left, it starts over at -5, and then it goes 2 all the way over to x equals 6. So that would be my domain. And then the range, we're going to look at how far down does it go. My graph goes this far down, to how far up does it go. It goes up to the top right there. Okay, so how far down does it go? It starts down at -3. 2, it goes up until I get to y equals 4. So my range will be -3 to 4.